Okay, so one of the questions we get quite a lot is to ask to sketch a function given. The convention is to be different types, but we ought to use our graphing calculators to help us by finding the key information first. So the first thing we want to do is we want to add a page. Press Control, Add Page, and we choose a graph page. Next up, we need to type in the function that's been given. So the function is given to us here. We will type that in, minus 0.5 x squared plus 7.5 x minus 18. Type our function in like this. We press enter. We can't see the function completely. So the next thing to do is to adjust the graph a little bit. We adjust the graph a little bit. We can see that the function is going off towards the right. So we need to extend the x maximum and the y maximum. Let's do that first. So we can press Window and then Window Settings. I'm just going to change the x maximum here to 30. And then I'll put the y maximum up to 20. See how that does this. Oh, there we go. We can see it now. This is sufficient to see everything that we need. Oh, no, it's not. We don't see the y-intercept. We're going to have to extend the window downwards as well. So I'll just adjust this a little bit now. We want to go down a bit more. Let's go down to minus 20. Don't need to go as far over on the x as I had. Sorry, it's not that one that needs to go to minus 20. This one. There.
So you can drag it down, right?
Yeah, you can drag it. You can press zoom in, zoom out. There's a zoom box. There's many different zoom features, but one of the ones I like to get a good grasp of is the window settings and just understand that we want the x maximum or the y maximum or the minimum and moving them around carefully. So one of the first things we need to do is we want to find the roots. So we click Analyze Graph and find the zeros. Scroll across to the right here like this. And then press the center of your touchpad and it will change from lower to upper in the bottom corner here. And then we scroll across, we see the first one. If you want to do this quickly, just keep going across and it will show you the other one as well once you pass here. The disadvantage of this one, it doesn't record them for us. You have to remember with your brain. This is 3 and this is 12. Okay. Quick, it will actually put the point on for us. But I can pop those in now. We're going to go through 3 and 12. It's important to have the x value. It doesn't matter whether we write it as an x value or whether we write it as a coordinate, because we're just labeling the axis. Because I'm a nerd freak, I'm just going to add the other one because I want to, while you guys tap away. There we go. Next, we need the y-intercept. So we need all of the axes intercepts to sketch a graph. So for the y-intercept, I think the best technique on this one is to press Menu, Trace, Trace Graph. Nothing seems to happen at that point. But what you want to do is type in the x value, 0, and press Enter twice. And we'll get the...
Wait, so that time was like 5 and 5 and 5?
Yeah, and it will give you the point on the curve where x equals 5. So menu 5, 1. Menu trace, trace graph. Notice that the trace graph feature is still selected. You can see this in the top left corner. If your graphing calculator is acting a bit funny, you might have a tool selected still. You see this icon? We can make that go away by pressing Escape. And now it will act differently. Our last thing to find is the vertex. So we're going through here. Well, I'll label the minus 12, minus 18 afterwards. Next up we want is the vertex. So Menu, Analyze Graph. And the vertex this time, will it be a maximum or a minimum? It'll be a maximum. And then it's a similar procedure. You go to the right, click, go to the left, click. Goes through that. So notice that I'm not plotting the points on the graph yet. This will make it easier for me to draw it. I've got my x coordinates, and I'm just going to draw a graph with a smooth parabola like this. Once I've drawn the graph, I can then label the points instead of having to make my graph go through the points that I've already plotted. So we want to plot the full coordinate for the vertex, 7.5, 10.1. And we need this one here, minus 18.
Did you get marks off the graph, the line isn't that way?
Yeah. So the shape has to be good. The general shape needs to be correct. And the parabola is one of the easier ones to draw. Typically, we will sketch rational functions. Those are a little trickier. What is the domain? What is the domain of the function? All real numbers. What is the range? What is the range? Can we take somebody else? Ella or Andrew? Which of those two numbers is bigger? So the numbers you said are correct, but which is the bigger of the two numbers? So which is the smaller of the two numbers? That has to come first.
So would that always be the domain?
Yeah. Unless, like I said, you have a limited domain for some reason, but then it would have to specify that in the question, say the domain is this. Or you would have on a graph drawn, you would have a dot. So we go from negative infinity to 10.1. If you notice there, with Ella, I sort of corrected how she gave me the interval. You have to make sure when you're writing your intervals in interval notation, the smallest number comes first. It's a real problem with this because you tend to start reading from this point at the top downwards. So visually, you start thinking from here. When you do the thinking, you start your thinking at 10.1, and then you sort of go down. So then you write 10.1 comma minus infinity. But those are the wrong way around. Those are the wrong way around.
And also the range should always, like, the x value always be infinity.